Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Carissa Sales, and I am the Professional Development Director here at the IABC Waterloo chapter. We've got a great presentation for you today. So excited for you all to be here. The chat feature on the side is open for you to ask your questions as we go through the presentation, and we will address them all at the end. So a little bit about our speaker today. Terry Nelson is the founder and director of Innertainment. What began as a childhood obsession with the family VHS camcorder has blossomed into a fruitful career telling stories in a constantly evolving medium. Following film school in Hawaii, Terry cut his teeth working on everything from music videos to full-scale Hollywood feature films in New York and Toronto before launching Innertainment in 2005. A highly skilled writer, director, and editor overseeing Innertainment's bustling production team, Terry loves to help companies in all sectors find ways to reach and delight their customers with video. So without further ado, Terry, I will throw it over to you.
Hello everybody, and welcome aboard the Innertainment 2022 Year in Review. We've had an amazing time being your first mates navigating a sea of content. We thought we'd do it a little bit different closing out the year this time. We thought we would look at all the different ways you use video. Come on. We're in beautiful British Columbia capturing a customer story for Auto Motors, and thought it was the perfect excuse to dive in and take a closer look at some of the stories you've been telling for your customers this year. You might be wondering, who exactly does Innertainment make videos for? Well, the correct answer is everyone. Above all else in 2022, we were amazed at the sheer volume of ways you use video to communicate with your audiences. Well, it's clear that 2022 is quite the voyage, but I personally can't wait to see what you get up to in 2023. What a long-winded hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for bearing with us as we kind of took you through a little tour through the type of work Innertainment did in the past year. Clearly, we are storytellers, and we work with a ton of local and and non-local companies kind of telling their stories and reaching their audiences in really creative ways. I'm going to show you a lot of video over this next 30 minutes. There's going to be room for questions at the end, but feel free to pepper them in the chat. I see that some of you are talking now. That's great. But Carissa will kind of field your questions to me at the end, and will hopefully you leave inspired, empowered. You're all storytellers. We are all storytellers, and video is just the latest and greatest medium in order to do that with. We don't have time to watch entire videos. We'll watch a few short ones, but it'll be a few segments here and there. Again, just showing the very, very wide range of ways you can tell a story. I'd say the first question you need to, I'm not going to give you too many notes to write down, but one thing you need to write down is, what is the story that I have to tell? What is the story that my brand has to tell? I'm sure you have something that you want people to know that they may not. There may be prospects, there may be partners. There's a lot of different ways you can communicate. I'll cover that a little bit more later. But the first example I'm going to show you was early on in that little recap reel. Equitable Life of Canada is one of our local clients. And one of the challenges that they had, as many of you know, insurance isn't exactly the sexiest space. It's known as a dry or a stodgy kind of communications arena, but it doesn't have to be that way. They wanted to kind of break through the mold of stodgy storytelling, and so our team kind of helped them develop some ideas in terms of what approach would be best. And I think having people meet their people, getting to know their people, was the best approach, because there's tons of great personalities within this dry insurance space. So I'll just show you a minute of that video. It's a long video that kind of it's like a welcome to Equitable Life. You can take a quick look at it here. This is how we decided to break the mold and get to know their people.
Oh,
Chris,
cool.
take one and done. Here comes Tara. Donna.
Welcome to Equitable Life.
Sabonani Equitable.
欢迎.
Välkommen.
Do you want to dance while you do it?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Suswagat.
Dobrodošli.
Maligayang pagdating.
Bienvenidos a Equitable Life. Action.
So my name is Fabien Judy in French, or Fabian Judy, or Jedi if you want. It's up to you to decide. I am actually your president and CEO. Welcome to Equitable Life. It's your first week. You'll quickly notice that you've made a great choice.
I think we are caring,
friendly, diverse,
loyal,
Tight-knit.
Collaborative,
team-oriented, growing,
energetic,
Positive. Inclusive.
disciplined,
Responsive.
Dynamic.
Canadian.
exciting,
and fun.
Fun. Lots of fun.
I love coming to this company every morning. I actually look forward to a Monday. I know it's more than 3 words, but it's fun.
I'll just be here the whole time doing this while you talk.
Okay, that's perfect. Not at all.
Okay, I could keep going there, but I think you get the idea. It's a great way to sit people in front of that camera and just get them to warmly welcome people. That video kind of goes, it unpacks Equitable and who they are and what they do a little bit more. But I think we had most of your attention probably off the top with that one. It's just you get to know them right away. It's joyous, it's energetic, a great way to start. Okay, again, I told you I'm going to show you tons of videos, so we're just going to keep moving right through. Another company we worked with locally, semi-locally, they're Guelph-based, is UPI Energy, and they've been around for a long time. They're mainly known in the public for fuel and fuel products. There's a number of gas bars littered throughout Southern Ontario, and they came to us for help with a TV ad, because they wanted something simple. How do you tell people who you are in 30 seconds? There's not a lot of time there. And some of you may have seen this ad on TV. It airs on CTV to this day, this series. I'll get to that in a second, but you may recognize this ad. Little trivia question for some of you folks out there, if you're paying attention, put it in the chat after the ad if you understand which film this commercial is an homage to. Okay, 30 seconds. Here we go. I'll talk about it a little bit more right after this.
Who are you?
Ken,
What are you doing?
filling up your fuel tank
What for?
to help run your tractors.
Where do you work?
UPI Energy,
Where's your office?
right there.
Where do you drive?
All over Ontario.
What's Ontario's motto?
Ut incipit fidelis sic permanent.
Guess how old I am.
6.
You're good.
Thank you.
Ken, you're all right.
Friendly service with a local touch. Experience our energy.
Awesome. That ad was very modestly produced, just a clever little vehicle to cover who they are, what they do. They deliver fuel, and the concept of having a driver meet a kid, just a great way to show that they work well with their clients of all ages. So that particular ad, when it first came out, we were given free airtime. So CTV loved this ad so much, they started filling time slots with this ad, like during NFL broadcasts in the Toronto region, which doesn't even have any UPI stations, just because it was such a fun and warm little ad. So this is a company whose creative storytelling approach led to wider recognition, and they got so much great feedback from the general public. It has become an annual campaign. I don't know if any of you have seen, but that little boy is now probably 14 or 15 years old. His voice has changed, and we're still seeing the boy and this driver every single year. It's a great campaign.
So, you filled our tank, loaded up our trunk, and brought me a pop?
While you relax in the car. That's full service at UPI Energy FS.
You've set the gas bar pretty high.
Experience our energy.
Moving along, events is another space that we operate in. For a variety of sectors. Obviously, companies put on events to bring their customers and prospects and partners together. That's a wonderful breeding ground for content. There's lots of stories to be told. You can have your own people talking about your company. You could have your customers talking about your company. You can show your thought leaders on stage doing their thing. There's a million ways you can gather stories from events. Here's one we recently did with Dell Technologies in Toronto. I'll just show you a segment of this just so you can see the energy. This is a great way to put your company's best foot forward, your brand's best foot forward.
We are at the Dell Technologies Forum here in Toronto. We're very excited to be back. We haven't been here since 2019.
Beautiful atmosphere. It's great to connect with a lot of individuals that I haven't seen in a while.
Oh, it's awesome to see all like-minded people here and the new tech Dell has to offer. It's great.
A lot of our vendors are here, so it's really nice seeing them.
It's fantastic. It's so nice here, like all the new technology.
Looking forward to a lot of sessions and really excited to see all the new products that Dell is offering.
So in terms of storytelling approach right there, obviously they just happened to have a marching band kind of come through as a diversion within the conference. And we thought it would be a great idea to use that marching band as kind of the narrative, the thread. Obviously you get the music that brings the energy and the vibe. And if we just kind of walked around shooting different sites of the conference, I mean, it's cool. It makes it look good. But where you really get the value in that video that you just watched is by the attendees saying, hey, we're here. We're having a great time. We're learning about all the new products that Dell's launching. And you're getting a lot more excitement in that video because you have the attendees telling the story for you. So again, we live in this space. We do a lot of them. Every event is different. And so not every single event is going to have that marching band feel, but that was an opportunity for us to have some fun with that one. Okay, another way you can do storytelling at an event is sitting them down, creating a bit of a studio space, and having your attendees sit down and do some real thought leadership. So I'm going to show you a very, very short clip that we did at a recent scale-up event for Wilfrid Laurier University. This is a program, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's sort of a mentorship / networking group at every stage along the way as they're looking to scale. So that's why it's called Scale Up. And again, we'd be here till 9 o'clock tonight if I show you all these videos. So I'm just showing you little segments. If you have any questions, again, please pepper them into the chat. And Carissa, there's gonna be lots of time at the end for us to unpack these. So Carissa will take your questions to me. Okay, so here's Scale Up. Here's just, again, a very short example of getting a nice little space, put a chair, set up some lights, and just talk.
You've got massive inflation that's going on. You've got an economy that's very strange. You've got geopolitical things, and it's tough. And it's tough on people leaders as well as their employees.
There is going to be a persistent labor shortage here. And so don't take your talent for granted.
I told you it was going to be very short. I mean, you get the idea. It's people sitting, and they're going to offer some insights. That's their storytelling approach. Okay, and again, I'm showing you a wide variety of approaches here. Here's another one. We do the full range of storytelling here. We can make it funny if it needs to be funny. We can make it poignant or emotional if it needs to be that. And that is point number 2. So I told you already, point number 1 is, what story are you trying to tell? That's what you need to remember as you walk away from this presentation. What story am I trying? What story is my brand trying to tell? But point number 2 is, who are we telling it to? It's crucial. You don't want to, if your material, if your subject nature is serious, well, obviously you're not going to make a goofy, funny, silly video. It has to fit tonally. So here's one where we didn't have to do too much exploration with storytelling. There's a local construction company builder named Vandel, if you've heard of them. And the founder of that company, this is a family-run business, and the patriarch of the family, the starter of this company, was in his final days, and they wanted to capture the origin of this company, and by default, showing this company's mission, its values, and its process. So what we did is we went straight to Rich Stavanis, the founder of Vandel, and we captured his story. And it was a massively important piece of content for this company. They still use it to this day. Internally, this thing is a gold mine, because you meet the people and you get right into the heart of this company. So I'm going to show you just a short segment. This is a documentary style storytelling approach where we sit down, we meet the people, and we also go out and get a lot of supplementary footage so we don't just hear them talking, we see what they're talking about. And again, this is just a segment, but a beautiful, touching piece. Sadly, Rich Stavanis passed maybe 6 months after we produced this video, which added to the value of this video so much more. They have this forever.
I knew from a young age, riding around on Saturdays with Dad, that's what I wanted to do.
Later on, along came our sons, and that's kind of how we got going, and it just took off. I'm so proud of them. They have carried on the principles that Diane and I had laid out for the company, that we were a different company than other companies. We wanted to be fair, we wanted to be honest.
My dad was always say what you do and then do what you say. So that really stuck with me. I watched him in that, just being honest and not always telling people what they wanted to hear, but just being very transparent.
Rich was such a solid, good guy. Honest as the day is long, all those things that you look for in a construction manager. We really built on that values foundation. Don was, we really loved Don. He was a go-getter, he's a pusher. Pushed hard, and Rich was the same way. They were kind of type A personalities, but also treating people fairly, like not being unreasonable or unfair to the trades.
I think the reason the trades keep on coming back to us is that we pay on time. That's the first thing. The other reason is we're firm but fair. Communication is key. We're always moving in the same direction. and everybody's got the same intent in mind. Build a quality job on the budget and on time.
Yeah, I guess they say the rest is history. We've done, I don't know, 25 or 30 projects or more.
There's an old expression that a rising tide raises all boats. And that's really working with Vandel. That's what happens, is that everybody benefits because no one's got self-serving interests. Everyone's just putting the project out first and saying, this is how we're going to make this a success for everyone involved.
We wanted to look professional when we arrived at your job site.
Clean site's a safe site. Clean site's a productive site.
Beautiful, beautiful story. I wish I could show you the entire thing. It's very, very touching. And also, it also shows you exactly who Vandel are as a company, as a team, what they do, and why they're so valued by their customers. I'm going to move into the healthcare, the health sector for a couple of minutes here. I'm going to show you an animated video. We haven't really touched upon animation yet, but animation is a wonderful storytelling approach with using video, that is. With animation, you can go anywhere. You can tell a story any way you want, any style. The possibilities are virtually endless. So I would say about half of the work that Innertainment does is animation based. It's just a very popular tool. We even do live action and animated hybrids for people. Again, if anybody has any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer it. But here's a short segment of a video for Huron Digital Pathology. And this is just kind of explaining what they have to offer.
Every year, pathologists around the world diagnose millions of cases. Using their experience and knowledge, these experts review biopsy slides and generate pathology reports. Unfortunately, these reports are often filed away after diagnosis, never to be revisited. Think about all the knowledge captured in these reports just sitting idle. Imagine if there was an easy way to access, aggregate, and tap into that collective knowledge. How much could we speed up and improve diagnosis or accelerate cancer research?
I got good news for you. There is a way to accelerate cancer research. And that video goes on to explain that. And that's the thing, that it's this video, again, going back to point number 1, what's the story you have to tell? 2, who do you have to tell it to? And then point number 3, if you're writing these down, is what is the best vehicle to tell that story? So in that particular case, we don't really have the freedom to move through research to hospital rooms. In that case, animation was the best way to clearly, concisely, and quickly get that message across. Here's another really, really interesting approach to storytelling. And this is by Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto, who we do a lot of work with. They recently opened a new cancer wing in their hospital. It's a beautiful space with some just incredible function. And who would have thunk it? Video is a fantastic, instead of bringing tens of thousands of people through the space, you bring the space to tens of thousands of people.
Our new treatment room has greatly expanded our capacity, and we now have 28 treatment chairs, 5 beds, with everything that our nursing team needs conveniently located at the chair side. For our patients, a beautiful skylight, and for essential care partners or visitors who are spending time with the patient at their chair side, we have beautiful bench seating. Our state-of-the-art oncology pharmacy is located immediately adjacent to the treatment room. That means as soon as the pharmacist has prepared the chemotherapy, it can be passed through to the nurse in the treatment room. We're also very excited that the pharmacy has been built to accommodate a chemo compounding robot in the future.
Isn't that cool? It's the simplest thing. Yeah, what a fantastic idea to use video as your storytelling tool to get that out there. I just thought that was fantastic. And they also, because it's a lot of money the hospital receives is from donors, they took that tour video and created very specific versions for the donors, for specific donors, to thank them for their generous gifts. Wonderful, wonderful way to use that tool. Moving on to the public sector, here's something we did not too long ago for the city of Kitchener. There's certain situations they have to be dealing with all the time, taking care of this city, so no one's left behind. Here's a really simple way of having a positive look at a very difficult situation.
We're changing systems that didn't feel penetrable before. You know, we're coming up with creative and new ways of solving problems that are complex in our community, and we're getting traction. I believe that through some of the successes that we've had, who we've been able to house and how we've been able to keep them housed, you know, we might be able to end homelessness in Kitchener. And wouldn't that be incredible? I think as we move forward in supporting a vaccine rollout and, you know, slowly returning to normal, it's important to reflect on the successes that we have had. Like, that is what makes me hopeful. Knowing that we've housed over 80 people permanently in our community, like that is enough motivation to keep me going. And so we can't give up, because the people that rely on us and the people that we're advocating and supporting for, they need us. They really, really need us. And so as much as that's a motivation to me and to others that I work and serve alongside, you know, we got to keep going, because this is just the beginning.
Nice. So that's storytelling. That's not story writing. That's basically having a story to tell and just telling it. There's nothing else to that. It's very simple. But another approach that we took for the city of Kitchener, and that, by the way, I have to mention that you saw the masks people are wearing. That's a story that was born in the pandemic. We had to get very creative doing some storytelling during the pandemic. We're very thankful that we're sort of collectively getting back on our feet now. So that was storytelling, but story writing is another approach we had to take during the pandemic. The city of Kitchener was doing its best to, I mean, everybody was pretty bummed out during the pandemic. We were all locked inside our homes. We couldn't really do much, but the city tried to put a positive spin on it. There were still some things that were available to the community, and they wanted people to know what those things were. So that's where the storytelling came in. We collaborated with them, and we came up with this really, really fun, really out of the box approach to let people know that skating rinks were open. Have a quick look. Hopefully, maybe some of you have seen this. If you haven't, we love it.
Thanks mainly to these unsung heroes, there are many outdoor skating rinks to enjoy across Kitchener this winter. Stay safe. Continue to follow the current public health guidelines. And if the rink's busy, be sure to come back again later. It's time to reimagine winter.
Oh, yes. Well, we all had to reimagine winter. The city of Kitchener were kind enough to allow us to run with it and come up with some creative approaches as to how people could make the most of a tough time. So, yeah, why not? The rink flooding fantasy was very, very popular. It was a hit. We produced several more segments under that Reimagine Winter campaign. But kudos to the city to having the wherewithal to get creative with their storytelling, right? That could have just been a shot of some rinks or whatever, but with that fun approach, people in town shared the video and got the message out even further. So good storytelling matters. It definitely does. Moving on, I wanted to show you another animated video. I'm starting to run out of time, but I'll try to tighten this up. And again, there's still going to be time to answer your questions, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of time before you have to head back to work. But here's a neat thing you can do with video. You can personalize it. I don't know if any of you are aware of that. Vidyard, which is a local tech company, they have this feature in their software where you can address a video to someone, email it to them, and then they see their own name play out in the video as they watch it. And there's a ton of great applications for this. This is just a very, very, very simple animated video that we did. You'll see, I think it says, like you'll see your name here or something like that. Just fill in the blanks. Imagine it's your own name. Like, what a nice little way to learn about something. It's got your own name on it. That's Vidyard. Very creative stuff. They're a very creative company. It's fun working with them. They have got great ideas, very innovative ideas to push storytelling to reach people. And if you, I don't know if you know this, but producing video has never been easier, and that's why you're seeing it used so much as a storytelling tool for brands. The technology's never been more affordable to obtain. It used to be one and done. You'd have a budget for one video, and you guys would spend 6 months planning it, and you'd spend a month shooting it, and you'd spend another month putting it together, and then it's out there and it's got its shelf life, and it's one and done and it's gone. But companies, since the advent of YouTube, which you know, I mean, I thank the man above every day. It's YouTube is our best friend. It's companies realized early on that you can use YouTube as a way to reach your customers. And when you receive like an email from a company, if you're looking for that, you're looking for a video, you could spend 5 minutes reading a few pages of a brochure, but I want to watch that video. I want to press play, and I want 30 seconds. I want to know what you got. It's a wonderful handshake for your audiences, and I see it. I just see it growing even more. Gonna quickly, just because we have a second here, I want to show you one company that we work with in the area. Take a look at this slide. It often starts with one video. It's an explainer video, maybe that tells people what they need to know at a base level. That's the storytelling is tops of the trees. That's your first video. It's your handshake to them. Hopefully it's a stylish and elegant handshake. But once you get that, there are so many ways video can trickle through your organization. You see, marketing and comms can use it. You got sales. Videos are, I think, sales team's favorite tool, because they can talk at you for 10 minutes, sort of like having to read. Or they can start a meeting, like you've seen all these videos we've been showing, some big impact. It's got people's attention right off the bat. They press play, and that's the elegant handshake that they need in order to start that meeting. Product uses it. There's product launches several times a year with some companies, once a year, whatever. But video is a great way to get that product into the eyes of your target audience. People and culture. With this specific company that we've done video for, we just sort of like Equitable Life, we meet their people, and there are several departments within a company you want to meet. Video is a great way to press play, and within a few minutes, you've met pretty much everybody. I'm going to show you one way they use storytelling in a completely out of the box and unexpected way. In this specific example, I'm about to show you a segment of a spoof of the movie Home Alone. Yes, it took a lot of planning. We cast the entire video from people within their organization. So what a great opportunity for the people in your company to get together, have a moment in the sun. Trust me, they love the notoriety. Here is a minute-long segment of a Home Alone spoof we did for Axonify. It has become sort of like the UPI TV ad became this annual growing sort of journey campaign. Axonify holidays videos are highly anticipated every single year. Here's one we produced for them recently.
I'm in very sad shape. I don't know the reason.
Hey guys, I'm all alone eating junk food and watching rubbish. Somebody come and stop me! Wait a minute. I'm in here. The front line's out there doing everything they can just so I can stay home alone. They need my help. First, I'll touch base with the management team to ensure that I'm aligned on the new business strategy. Next, I'll reach out to the training group to see how we're doing on content development. Other than that, I'm in good shape. Ready to go.
Oh, where was that going? It's starting to get a little... Ugh. If you know the Home Alone movie, you know where that's headed. Again, I'd love to show you guys these entire videos, but just moving through everything really quick, just so you get an idea of all the different ways you can apply storytelling to elevate your brand. And Exonify used holiday videos as one way to elevate their brand. I'm going to wrap it up right away. I know we're starting to creep into the Q&A time. I'm going to show you one more video as to where storytelling is headed, because I showed you a couple of animated videos as an example, but the capability that Innertainment specifically have with animation, we can do flat 2D right through to 3-dimensional. This will give you an idea of, again, just some of the capability with this affordable technology to use as a really elegant way to tell stories. So again, just a really short look at some of our animation.
Entertaining lights come in the sky as stars at night, fashioned by divine design.
I think I'm going to open it up in case there are any questions, but hopefully this gives you an idea just of the massive reach and scope and ways you can tell stories through video. Carissa, I'd love to open it to you now, and you can let me know if there are any questions from any attendees.
Sure. Thanks, Terry. That was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I feel like for myself specifically, it's sometimes so hard to think outside the box, and you get so focused in on what your message is, and you forget to look at those creative ways to make it engaging and entertaining for your audience. So that was great.
Yeah, and it can't always be entertaining. Sometimes it's we're in corporate video world doing corporate video things, because that's like, as my point number 3 was, what's the best vehicle for the story that you're trying to tell, right? It's figuring that part. It's all 3 steps. What are we telling? Who are we telling it to? And how are we going to tell it?
Definitely. Great. We do have one question from Krista as well. How do you capture global staff and clients without having to fly a crew around the world? Biggest barrier I face working at an international NGO.
Yeah, there are a number of ways to do that. So if you don't have the luxury of a conference, as I had said before, that's one way, obviously, that companies use video, is when they do have everybody together. That's the best time to get some video shot. But I would say even at a base level, Krista, doing what we're doing right now is one tool you could use. In fact, since the onslaught of the pandemic, we've done more virtual video sessions than ever. I mean, it's good enough quality to get the message across. You don't need super production value in order to capture a story. Sometimes we did an entire case study where our client's customer filmed themselves exactly like this. We found supplementary B-roll, and we're still able to cobble the story. So as Corey likes to say, we can meet you where your budget is at. In order to, I guess that's another thing you have to determine, is how much money do I have to throw at this? You can go all out and do your version of a Super Bowl ad, or you can just use the tools that you have at your disposal. That is a laptop camera. That is people's time. You can collect assets that way and then determine your best course forward from there. That's one way.
Great. We've got a question here from Peter as well. Is there a lot of give and take between you and your clients, helping them answer your 3 questions?
Yes, there is. No 2 projects are the same. Some clients come to the table and they know the answer to all 3 questions. They know the story that they, well, actually, let me back up 1 second. Most times someone comes to us, they do have number 1 answered already. They know the story that they have to tell. That's why they came to us. Help us tell this story. Now, sometimes we come to the table and they know exactly what they want to do. They have the concept. They have, or sometimes it's half developed and they need a little bit of help getting over the finish line. But they'll know better than we do who they're talking to as well. So the number 2, they know the audience. Sometimes it could be the general public. It could be internal comms. There's so many applications here, but yeah, it's a mix in terms of we get a different balance all the time of how far along a customer has come with their concept. Sometimes, like we sort of behave like an agency where we can help them develop those ideas and then produce everything in-house. It's beautiful.
Great. Next question. What is the ideal length of a video, recognizing that it should always be long enough to tell the story?
That's right. I imagine with some of the sample clips, Elaine, that I shared, you get an idea of the story we're telling. But I mean, in the example of that Vandel construction story, that was a 10-minute mini documentary, basically. I just gave you, I just hinted at what that thing is about in terms of meeting the founder and kind of getting the mission value statements of that company across in that video. It's 10 minutes long. We don't make too many videos that are 10 minutes long, but sometimes that's just what the story demands. Usually, I would say, I don't know, guys, did you find the length of most of these clips that I shared were manageable? Not too long. I think the sweet spot for a video personally would be a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. That's when someone's coming in completely cold, that's about as much time as they're going to give you. So that should be a pretty engaging minute, minute and a half. You start spending 5 or 6 minutes talking about a product that just released. Maybe you should press play, let the video do its job in setting the table and giving you the most. The video is the hook, right? That's you hook them with that, and then maybe you continue that story in conversation. You get a little further into the weeds that way, instead of risking losing them and their attention after 3 or 4 minutes when it really only needed to be about a minute, minute and a half long. Hopefully that answers your question, Elaine.
And
that's a great. I see Corey also answering Elaine there. Great answer, Corey. That's the number 2. Who is the audience? Does this require a lot? Do we have time with them? Are they a captive audience? That sort of thing.
Terry, can you touch on real quick just how content can be repurposed?
Yeah, of course. So for example, this Equitable Life video that we started with, we shot probably 4 days of material. We met probably 20 to 25 employees at Equitable Life that helped tell that story. Well, now, geez, that's a lot of video content. Yeah, we did that welcome video and it was a big hit, but now we're going further into that material because if you've shot 25 people that are all talking for 4 or 5 minutes at a time, you've got a lot of video content there, and they're finding new nuggets that they can pull. And so they paid for one video shoot, but now they're getting multiple cycles out of this content because there's so many stories that can be told from it. Same with an event. When you have an event and you have people together, I showed you that the sample of the scale up video with Laurier. We were actually covering an event. And so that was the networking, that was the thought leadership that people were getting in those sessions that we were recording. But then we also had that studio set up in the side room where people could go in and tell other stories. So there's just so many ways you can capture and then continue to repurpose material down the road.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm not seeing any additional questions. Anything else, guys? Give it a minute.
No worries, of course. I could, like I said, I could have spent 2 hours talking through each point, but this is just a very quick little initiation. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of how much video is going on around here and how companies are using it in so many different ways. But hopefully this kind of scratches the surface of that for you and gets you thinking about how you can do it.
Yeah, great. Well, I'm not seeing anything else. Oh, Peter sent one more. Are platforms like TikTok and Snapchat changing expectations of the length of videos?
Great question, and a tough one to answer because most of the people in my age demographic aren't using TikTok as their main source of content. The younger generation, though, it started with Vine before TikTok even was around. People realized, oh my gosh, we can create totally captivating, awesome videos that take only 8 seconds to watch, which is wild. TikTok is popular for a reason. People love in and out. It's a quick bite-sized content, yum, 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 on to the next one, and they can spend hours just going through it. But again, I would say, Peter, the answer, I don't think TikTok and Snapchat are changing the length of videos that companies are supposed to be making. I know one of our clients, that image I told you where various facets of the organization are using video. Well, one way they did create some TikTok length videos. A couple of our customers did, just experimenting with real quick, fun, bite-sized videos. But that's only one application. That's only you're going to need to tell that 5-minute story once in a while. It's all about knowing that 1 and that 2 and that 3. What is the best vehicle for this particular thing I'm trying to create, to communicate to these people?
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Terry and Corey. Really appreciate you spending the time chatting with us today. It was fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all for having me. And maybe if we all get together in person again one day, we can do one of those sometime.
Would absolutely love that. Yes. And just before we go, I just want to give a quick reminder or announce our next event will be March 7th. We are going to be doing an International Women's Day panel. So you should be able to register for that hopefully by the end of the week. But yeah, keep your eye out for that.
Thanks for having me, everybody. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you all in the movies.
Thanks, Terry.
All right.